dropped the bit rate more. I'm just praying we can stay at 2000. I also made the quality low. So all right. I'm gonna give it a couple minutes. If we're good for a couple minutes, then we're good. Oh. Nope, there it is. It dropped for a second, but I'm just kind of waiting it out, guys. Hold on. Yeah, my upload is way lower right now. Do I need to restart my Wi-Fi or my router? Yeah, my megabytes is near 2 megabytes per second upload, which it should be at the very least 8 to 10. I mean, yesterday it was at 11. Why is it at 2 right now? Test it one more time. Even the download should be higher than this. It should be in the 400s. Yeah, give me a second. Let me try something. Oh wait, the upload's going up now. Hold on. No, I don't have storms in my area. Let's do it again. Like, this bad boy should be like near 400, guys. It shouldn't be under 200. I just turned my TV off. Okay, so all right, the upload, it looked like the upload speed is going up a little bit. It's around 5 now. Maybe a test kind of kicks it in gear, maybe? Any tech guys know that? Does doing a speed test kick anything? Does it do anything? All right. We look like we're at a consistent 4 megabytes per second right now. Which it should be better, but I'm gonna have to figure something out. My phone was connected to the Wi-Fi, so let's try it one more time. Let's do another test. That's not doing much. Well, it's at 1. It should be way higher than that. I know sometimes you hit up your provider, they can boost your internet. They already boosted it without me asking. All right. Maybe we're okay. Okay. Maybe we're okay. All right. All right. Okay, let's go to another website. Are you gonna allow me to go to another website? I'm watching it the whole time as I type in Spurs ESPN. I'm clicking on ESPN now. Can you handle it? Okay. The upload one is what's messing up. The upload speed is what keeps messing up. It's 0.13. Okay, so something is going on with that. I don't think we're good. Hold on. Let's see something. All right, let's try this. So I'm like literally trying to fix this as we're on here. This is really bothering me. Because it's just going to keep dropping this whole time. Oh, gosh, I don't remember. I don't know what this is. I don't know. Sloppy turnovers. It's okay, man. If your internet won't fix, just try tomorrow. If you still lag and call ISP. Well, it's so frustrating, man, because my download speed is crazy good. My upload speed should at least be at a 10. And sometimes it's just jumping down to a crawl. Like, it's jumping all the way down to 0.13 megabytes per second. Like, you can't have a healthy stream that way. It shouldn't be like that. Let's see. I'm gonna try this. All right, send me a text. Is it just on PC or on all devices? Right now, it's just on my PC. Like, I literally turned everything off. New password. Services. What? So many verifications. I know Windows 11 slows down SSD. Not sure if that would affect streaming too, though. It's literally my router. 715-837. Let's see. Just got a text. Okay. Internet. I don't know what's going on here. Am I on the wrong account? Do I have two accounts? No longer lagging. I don't know what would have fixed it. Do I have two accounts? Yeah, I might have to call tomorrow. I'm a little confused. It should all be under one account. I don't quite know why I don't have both accounts on here. I don't know. I actually don't know. Let's see, now it says internet connection is very slow right here. Is test again. Alright, so download slower than it should be. But whatever. It's in the 200s, whatever. Upload just ain't doing it, y'all. Upload is what matters. I don't know. Yeah, I might have to call tomorrow. All right. Okay. If push comes to shove, I'm gonna upload this video tomorrow anyway. So, all right. Okay. A lot of technical difficulties, a lot of BS going on. But what was not BS was this game. All right. So let's talk about the game. I'm sorry, chat, if the stream is acting dumb. Like I said, I'll upload this segment the next day. But let's go ahead and dive into it. I have been keeping up with some of the comments here and from the last stream, and it seems like most of us were quite upset with the sheer amount of turnovers. And this is a vibe. We'll see in a minute. I have not looked at the stats. This is a vibe. But I feel as if Wemby led the way a little bit, right? Maybe Wemby led the way a little bit. Or at the very least, he had a few. All right, so just diving straight into it. We'll talk about each individual player super briefly this time because there's nothing to really report on. And then I'll just tell you overall how I felt about this game. So just starting with Julian Champagnie, I think that this is going to be the starting lineup that they go with for the season. It makes sense, especially on paper, that you would go with Julian Champagnie at the shooting guard position just because, you know, he can stretch the floor and he's a good shooter for the most part. So it makes sense for them to go with that. I personally would prefer Steph Castle being in there. At one point, they did go with a lineup that consisted of Chris Paul, Steph Castle, Harrison Barnes, Sohan, and Collins. And it wasn't Wemby because Wemby didn't play in the second half at all, I don't think. And that lineup was actually pretty decent. I'm not going to lie to you. It was actually pretty decent. But overall, just how did everyone do? Champagnie did fine. You know, he's always going to do fine. No complaints there. Sohan was great. You know, don't be surprised if people still don't give him a lot of credit for what he does because his game just isn't that flashy, right? But he's always in the right position. He's always making the right reads, and especially off ball. He does a great job. And yeah, he did a good job in this game. He did a really good job in this game. The stream is, yeah. And then moving on, Barnes, I don't have anything to say about him. I'm going to say this every single time, every single stream that we do talking about Barnes. I have nothing to say. He's a professional. He does a good job, and his numbers are going to improve once the season actually starts and we utilize him, right? Wemby was he was rough. Wemby was rough. On paper, it looks fine. 3 for 6, 8 points, only 2 turnovers. I thought it was more. 2 turnovers, 2 fouls, a block, a steal. But Wemby was very rusty. Wemby is fine, but he was very rusty. I mean, if I'm just being honest, he was not the best. Got caught up on pump fakes a lot, just kind of out of position, experimented, and kind of, I'll be honest with you, this is the one time that I felt this way. I typically don't feel this way with Wemby. I felt like the ball kind of stopped when Wemby had it at times, you know? He was sloppy. Yeah, he was very sloppy. It seemed like the momentum just kind of stopped when he had the ball during this game. And that's not typically the case when he's on the court. He usually plays better than that. But yeah, he's just sloppy, you know. Haven't really been able to play a full game. Haven't been around the guys enough, you know, on the court in game action to be able to knock the rust off. But I noticed that. I was like, man, this seems like last game we were passing the ball much better. And it's like Wemby got into the starting lineup and it was like, ooh, you kind of stopping it a little bit, Wemby. Also pulled up were all these pull-ups? One of the ones he hit was a pull-up 3. I don't remember if all of them were pull-ups. But, you know, taking shots he probably shouldn't take. But, you know, even with Wemby not playing his best, he managed to get 8 points, a block, a steal, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. That's just how good he is. But yeah, he's gonna have to get it together. Yeah. He said, "Wizard, what are you yapping about?" He said it's just rust. He's talking about Wemby. Oh wait, he said something. Wemby hasn't shown anything different from last season so far. Oh, that's what you're talking about. Yeah, no. We shouldn't expect too much different from Wemby right now. First and foremost, let's get this out of the way. These preseason games with Wemby, he has played better than this last season. Okay, so this is definitely rust. All right, even if we get the exact same Wemby we did last season, that's a plus, and it's fine because you got to keep in mind that last season, during the off season, he had the Olympics going on. You know, he just didn't have a lot of time to necessarily work on his game. But I do think that the Olympics, in and of itself, mentally, really helped him for sure. But just as a raw skill, trying to figure out what his spots are, that's still going to take time, and we have to wait and see. Wemby and Chris Paul have not played together much at all. And that's kind of the big selling point for the season, to see how those two gel. So I'm not worried at all. I'm just being honest. And I can be pretty like blatant with Wemby because he's so good. Even though he's so young, he is so good. So I could just be honest and say, yeah, he wasn't that good. He was pretty bad. But even a bad game for him give you 8.7 rebounds in 17 minutes. So just how good he is. Moving on, Chris Paul had a better shooting night than last time. It felt like he was struggling last time, but as far as turnovers, he actually led the way. I could have sworn it was Wemby. So overall, look, the Miami Heat are they're a good defensive team, right? They've played together. They know each other's tendencies. They play good defense. Just call it what it is, bad coaching from the Spurs. I don't think it was bad. I mean, Wemby being sloppy has nothing to do with coaching, I don't think. He was just sloppy. Playing lagging again. We'll be back. You gotta just deal with lag until I call and fix that. Playing, you're frozen. We're back. It's okay. But overall, I don't think Wemby was like not coached well. I think it was just he just struggled. Just a little sloppy. That's on him. Okay, so Zach Collins, dude. He wasn't bad. I don't know how to even talk about Zach Collins, He's not bad. I think a lot of people are a little too harsh about Collins. We're expecting him to be a stretch. I mean, he's talked about that 50 million times on how he's going to be more of a stretch. Yeah, I know he's coming off of that shoulder injury or whatnot. I think that his game is just overall just kind of I don't really know how else to explain it. Seriously, I mean, that's all I got. It's just kind of I mean, there's no real finesse to it. It's just kind of like jamming it in there. I don't know. He has decent touch around the rim. It's fine. He did fine. He didn't play bad. Zach was honestly just okay today, which was an improvement from the constant bad he's been. Well, last game he was pretty bad. Yeah. But yeah, I agree. Zach is always just okay. And I feel like it goes too far when people start to say like he's trash or he's bad or he's a terrible player. I don't think that's the case. It's saying your stream restarted and it's only been on for a minute. Is that just me? I don't know. I don't know, dude. I don't know. This stream is sloppy. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea what it's doing. Anyways, moving on. Just going from thing to thing. Mamu didn't play, so I think Pop was just trying to get a vibe for everyone else, allow Zach Collins to get a few more minutes, all that good stuff, allow Bassey to get his minutes. Keldon Johnson did really well today. Like, this is the Keldon Johnson that I really liked. It doesn't show in the stat sheet because it shows only one assist, but he was passing the ball very well. I think it was only one shot that I felt forced. It was a little forced, but other than that, I thought Keldon did a good job. I thought he did a really good job. Keldon had a block. Oh, I don't know why they didn't record it. They recorded a steal. Yeah, Keldon needs to play like this for the rest of the season. He did totally fine. And I'll be honest with you, there was a lineup that the Spurs did with, I think it was Chris Paul, Stephon Castle, Keldon, was it Jeremy Sohan and Wemby? And that was a really good lineup. Like I said before, Keldon is totally fine, especially if he's surrounded around defenders. And I think that that's where he fits best. Where it's really hard to exploit him. But overall, you know, he is a little bit quicker. He just looked good today. I was just proud. I was like, cool. This is the Keldon that we need right here. One that's, you know, passing the ball fairly well. You know, not necessarily having tunnel vision. Not putting it all on himself to be the creator. Put it all on himself to score for the team. He did a good job just playing his part, playing his role. Yeah. And I feel like even with 15 points, it was kind of a quiet game, but that's what you want. You want those quiet Keldon games where he just kind of blends in with the offense. I thought he did a good job. I was happy with Keldon today. So anybody that thought that I was going to hate on him, no, I was actually really happy with this performance. And I hope that we continue to get this type of Keldon going forward. Charles Bassey, I know some people said like they definitely want to just see him be the backup center. We don't really have a choice, right? I think Mamu backs up Sohan. I don't see why you wouldn't do that. As far as Bassey, yeah, I don't know if you really have a choice, right? I mean, he's gonna have to get some playing time, I think. And maybe he can split it between him and Collins. Another thing about Collins I didn't mention, Collins has some really good passes in there too, but he's always done that. He did that last season too. So Trey Jones only had 3 assists, huh? That is weird. Trey Jones, it felt like he had a really good game, which he did, but it did not show up in the stat sheet. That's interesting. So Trey Jones did great, as always, though. Malachi Branham was very aggressive today. 1 for 5 from 3, which isn't great, but 15 points overall. He had a really clutch 3, you know, the one that mattered near the end. He said Collins is awful, Bassey is awful too. Okay. But yeah, Branham was really aggressive today. Doesn't necessarily change my mind right now, you know, as far as the doubts that I have on whether or not he'll be able to fit for how the Spurs will use him. But I will say he played aggressive. Even on the defensive end, he got a steal and a block in there. So he had a fire under his butt. All right, he had some urgency. So that's what I'm saying, that even if even if Branham doesn't end up with the Spurs and he ends up with a different team, it's not going to be like a Lonnie Walker story where I think he's just passed around here and there. No, I think Branham legitimately has a place in the NBA. I think he's a really good player. I don't think he'll be a star or nothing like that, but I think he's a legitimate good player, a valid good player that deserves some minutes. It's just I don't know if he fits with us. But this game in particular, he did a really great job, very aggressive. This as well, going to the line. He shot 6 free throws at the line. Like he was aggressive. Blake Wesley, this wasn't his best game. But like I said, Heat was really putting on the heat. But he did fine. He did fine for what he is. And Castle, whew, he was 1 for 5. I guess it all came in the fourth quarter, man. Yeah, I guess it all came because he was very impressive, I thought. So 5 assists, most assists on the team. Him and Chris Paul both have 5. That is weird. He's definitely one of those guys similar to Sohan where you have to watch the games to get a vibe. But defensively, he is a hawk, man. Point of attack defender, absolute hawk. He was great in that role. He was great as a defender this game. Very impressed by that. Wesley didn't get much minutes. Yeah, he only got 16. But Castle was good. Great passing ability. Played great defense. Yeah, that's all I really have to say. Oh, and he was very aggressive getting to the line too in the fourth quarter. I love Castle because he's definitely gonna be one of those players that if you don't have anything, he's gonna make the most out of nothing, and that's a very dangerous player to have on your team. And it makes it easier to finish games too. The Spurs could have won this game. They could have won this game. So, but he used his body, his frame at the end of the game to intimidate and try to get to the free throw line. I think he came up with a little I think he came in a little intimidated, but then eased up throughout the game. I can see that. I mean, I didn't see that personally, but I can see that. I mean, he is a rookie, so. But yeah, so overall, what did I think about this game? So everybody thus far in the chat, or a lot of people in the chat, have brought up the turnovers, right? They were like, oh my God, these turnovers were absolutely terrible. I'll be real with you. This makes me actually really excited for this team, because the fact that you had 21 turnovers and you still lost by 3. And it's not like every single game they've been getting stupid amount of turnovers. They've been pretty good on turnovers. But you got this many turnovers, you were this sloppy. Your star Wemby was so sloppy, pretty terrible at times. And yet and still, you had this bad boy within 3. Now, someone who mentioned coaching, I don't think that there has been bad coaching in this game. I will say this, I don't understand not calling a timeout at the end, though. Now that's some coaching I scratch my head on. I don't understand that. I know some people might say, like, he just want to get it over with, or, you know, you didn't want anybody to get injured. But, like, I know it's preseason. I know at the long scheme of things, it doesn't really mean anything. But, dude, like, come on. These guys are out there battling it. You know, they're doing their thing. They deserve a shot to try to win the game. You know? You said, huh? You must have said, because the stream went out again. But yeah, I just think that they deserve a shot to win it. And it was kind of disappointing that Pop was just like, nah, you know, going overboard with the Wemby criticism. I just said he had a bad game. He did. I said, even with Wemby having a bad game and you got 21 turnovers, you still almost won this game. And I think it speaks to, and here's the special part. Hold on, we do a play-by-play. Here's the special part about this game. In the fourth quarter, last season, I know it's just preseason, but last season, it would have went away. It would have got away from us. It would have absolutely got away from us. Because the Heat turned up the heat, and they got a little bit of a lead off of us, from what I remember. That wasn't the third quarter, was it? I thought it was the... Yeah, no. Yeah, it was the fourth quarter. Check this out. So you can see right here, Malachi makes a shot, and then the Heat makes a three-pointer, and now we're down by 3. And then the Heat makes 2 free throws, and then they make another three-pointer. And last season, 2 minutes and 50 seconds left, it's over. That's done. That game is over. It's done. Pack up your bags, go home. But the Spurs kept fighting. Stephon Castle made sure he got to the line. And this is how you come back in the game, right? When you don't have anything, when things aren't going your way, you get to the line. Steph Castle went to the line. Charles Bassey got a dunk off of Steph Castle's assist. And you're going to see Steph Castle a lot, right? Steph Castle made another free throw. You know, you're within 6. They hit a 3, and now we're within 6 after that free throw. And then the Heat go to the line. They shoot 2 free throws, and it's like, okay, you're down by 8. What you going to do? Malachi Branham hits a 9-foot pull-up jump shot. That was pretty nice. And then he hits a 3, I thought it was a 3-pointer. Makes 2-point shot. Stephon Castle assisted that. And then we got a 3-pointer for Malachi, which Blake Wesley assisted. And yeah, and then it was kind of game from there. And also guys, we should have, who got fouled? Chat, who got fouled? Someone got fouled and they did not call it. Wasn't it Stephon Castle? Didn't Steph Castle get fouled at the end? Like they literally pushed off of him and they didn't call it? Oh, Steph? Yeah. So even that in the regular season, that's a call. That's a foul. And they go to the line. I think we would have went to the line at that point. Like I'm saying, I think that the Spurs legitimately, this was a better overall finish than we saw last season. And this wasn't even our finishers, right? The games, I think in the future, in this season, you're probably going to end with Steph Castle on the court. I'm assuming, I don't know. If Devin Vassell comes back, I don't see them sitting Devin Vassell, starting Castle, and I don't see them sitting here. Well, I can see them sitting Harrison Barnes at times. We could very well see Harrison Barnes sit at the end of some games and have Steph Castle be at the small forward spot because of his defense alone. But overall, the fact that Castle, and this isn't just this game, it was last game as well, that his name pops up like this when the game is on the line, that's a really good sign. I think this is a microcosm of the type of player that he is and what we could possibly see in the future in bigger games. He didn't win a championship, just I don't know, coming off the bench or into the bench player. Like, he was involved in the UConn's championship. He has that heart. He has that it factor. So overall, he did a phenomenal job, and I thought the team did a really good job. So yeah, like I said, man, you had your star player playing poorly. You had Chris Paul turn the ball over 6 times. Your team as a whole turned it over 20 times. But your defense, your tenacity, your patience, your calmness at the end of the game kept you in it when it looked as if it was going to get away from us. So that's a really good sign. I think it's important for the Spurs to have games like this where things aren't going their way, because the first few games of this season or this preseason, things have gone in our way in a favorable way, right? It's gone. The matchups they've been tough, but we did a pretty good job or whatnot. Miami Heat, legitimate team, going to be in the conversation, going to be in the playoffs, going to be competing, and we were right there with them. And it's not like they were just, playing willy-nilly. They were playing hard too. So I thought we did a great job. So, yeah. So I know it's easy to complain. Overall, good job. I've been waiting to get rid of Collins for 2 years, but never happens. I think it does. We'll be traded next season on expiring. I'm not fond of Bassey either. And Bassey's a little undersized and stuff, 2 injury prone. Yeah. It is what it is. He's not a long-term. I don't think Bassey's a long-term option. A lot of players on our team aren't long-term options. So, all right, let's do another. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't even think the bit rate is what's messing up this stream. I thought it was, but I don't think so. Cannot change anything while you're streaming. This team is probably 13th seed this season. Maybe 11th. 11th or 12th. Maybe. I don't think we make the play-in. I'd say we get 44 wins, which is a huge jump from last season. I still don't think we make the playoffs. We pull Andrew Bynum from retirement. Who says no? All right. Let's dive into the next order of business, which is some interviews. You guys want to watch some interviews? I think we only got 2. Let's see. All right, chat. Let's watch some interviews. The interviews were so bad. What do you mean? I know they're short, but you got Coach Pop and you got Jeremy Sohan, baby. Sohan did his thing. Anybody that says let me say this really quick. There's quite a few people that say that you praise Sohan way too much, Clan. I don't get it. I don't understand. Why do you like him so much? I've always said everyone has a bias, okay? If someone says they don't have a bias, do not trust them, okay? They are lying to you. Everyone has a bias when it comes to their favorite players, their favorite teams, just their views about the world. Everybody has a bias. I have a bias towards players that are high basketball IQ, good defenders. Those are the guys that I gravitate towards Those are the guys that I always like to see on our team. I grew up a Manu Ginobili fan. Manu Ginobili played tough defense. He wasn't the best defender in the world, but very high IQ player. My favorite player of all time. I was a big fan of Derek White, as you guys know. I've always talked about Derek White. I've always tell people, like my friends or whatnot, this would never happen. But I said, if I grew up a baller and I wanted to model my game off of a player, I would model it off of Kyle Anderson, because he plays good defense, high basketball IQ player. So I gravitate towards those type of guys. So Jeremy Sohan, before the Spurs even drafted him, I wanted him on the team. You remember when we did the top 5 players that we wanted? He was my number 1, and that was a big reason, because he was high IQ, good defender. I always will lean towards those type of players. But with that being said, also, I don't necessarily think just because you have a bias that it's not valid. And I don't think just because you have a bias in something that it's not truthful. Jeremy Sohan is very young, and Jeremy Sohan is very important. I think that he is not just a piece to this team to win a championship. I think he's one of the pieces to win a championship. You need a guy like this. You need players like this, right? So overall, every game that I've seen, because I've seen just about here, I might have missed a couple Sohan games, a few. Maybe I was like driving or something. But every game that I've seen of Sohan, consistent, good defense. Regardless of what's going on as far as, shooting wise, passing wise or whatnot, dribbling wise, that he struggled with, especially his first year in the league. Every single time I saw consistent effort, consistent good defense, even when players, go off, because you can't lock down, superstars or whatnot, every night. But even with that, he did a good job. He did a fine job. And advanced analytics is on my side on that. And, people that are outside of our circle also agrees for the most part that Sohan is pretty doggone good. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into Sohan, and then we'll dive into what Pop has to say.
What did you see on Victor's lob to you?
Right off the bat, what did you see with Victor's lob to you? Is this because they're in Miami? I don't understand. Huh. Every vet has called Sohan that guy. Mando said, I only heard Pat Bev. Yeah, it was mainly Pat Bev. No, someone else said it too. When players talk about him, they get kind of irritated, which is a good sign, I think. Steven Adams did. CP3 and Harrison Barnes. Oh, yeah. Obviously. People on his team have praised him. Wemby has praised him. I guess he was just talking about people outside of the Spurs. Yeah, we've had Pat Bev. I think Draymond. People just don't think about Sohan like that. It's not until the Spurs start winning that he's like on national television all the time, and people will start, putting him on notice. Anyways, this question is starting off weird. I don't know. Let's listen. Oh, and Austin Rivers just today. Okay, I need to watch that.
Just his point guard skills, bringing the ball up the court, stopping there at the top of the key.
Yeah, just he knows the game. He's natural to it, and yeah, it was a good pass.
You guys have a pretty good 2-game going, chemistry building.
Yeah. I think it's just natural. We don't really think about it. We don't, of course we talk here and there, but it's just natural. I think we know, where we are, and we just play off each other, 1-2s, everything.
Okay, I like this attitude. Okay, he's not being rude to anybody, but you can tell he's pretty upset about the loss. I like that. Don't carry it over, but I like it.
That as the preseason goes along, obviously nobody wants to get hurt or anything like that, but is it good that
a lot of NBA fans dislike Sohan because he criticized LeBron? Well, a lot of NBA fans, are dumb. No, but honestly, I've seen many posts also talking about like the top defenders in the league and top forwards in the league as far as defense, and I've seen plenty of fans actually praise Sohan for that as well. But yeah, they're going to hate him. They're going to hate him. He's very hateable, right? He's very hateable if he's not on your team.
The physicality ramps up a little bit.
Yeah, 100%. I think you can realize with a experienced team like Miami, how physical they are. We had way too many turnovers today. So it's just learning from a team like that who's experienced and being through battles. So yeah.
What do you like about that starting five?
We could have won at the end.
It's like Pop said, it's not set in stone, but
Mm-hmm.
it seems like that might be.
Wemby and Sohan had a pretty good two-man game, same as Wemby and Castle. I didn't really see much of a two-man game between Wemby and Castle, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I know Castle gave Wemby 1 assist. I don't know. I've seen more Castle and Mamu having a good 1-2 punch rather than Wemby and Castle. But Sohan and Wemby do play well together.
Yeah, I think we have length. Vic at the top. I think it's a good defensive unit, and I think everyone knows how to play. Extra passes, just knows the team ball. So I think that's important at the end of the day.
Good to see Charles back out there after what he went.
Yeah, very, very good. That's my boy, so I'm happy that he's back. Easy.
Cool. Didn't have too many questions there. Maybe it wasn't a lot of people that traveled. What's the point? What's the point of even uploading that? All right, Popovich.
Good game, we got more physical as the game along. Miami's a great physicality team to get after you. And
we were right there the whole time. I wonder if Pop is going to have the same perspective I had, that it actually shows a lot of tenacity on our part to have 20-something turnovers and lose by 3. I'm sorry. I think that it's good to have games where you play poorly and you finish as strong as we did. I think that those games are important because we're not going to be perfect. The 2014 Spurs weren't perfect, right? We had games where we struggled, right? And we still, finished strong.
After you. And we let that get to us. 15 turnovers in the first half, 6 in the second half. Did a much better job of moving the basketball, being in flow, and not holding the ball or being held up by their defense and their physicality. So that was good. We had a couple people that played well. A lot of people got minutes. We didn't play the G League guys, but our guys that are playing are almost as young as the G League guys, so they need the time too. How do you plan to use Victor in Houston? Probably about the same, maybe a few more minutes. Just coming out of that busy summer, it's a little, a couple of bumps
and Magic
and
are physical
and
teams. And now that you mention that, I said against the Magic that those are the type of teams that Wemby would struggle against, and maybe it's the Heat too. He struggled against those type of teams.
Precaution. Long season. How did Charles look? He did well. He was agile, and he bounced around, had a little energy. Pretty much said, what do you like about the starting unit? About who? The starting unit. What do you like about that?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. What do you like about the starting unit? Because everyone knows, Pop, that's the starting lineup you're going with. He's gonna go with Chris Paul, Julian Champagnie, Harrison Barnes, Sohan, and Wemby. There's no way he doesn't do that. The only other option I think is throwing in Castle in the starting lineup. I personally want that, but we don't always get what we want.
It's so early. We got all kinds of things to work on. I don't necessarily have a starting lineup that's in stone yet.
I don't believe him. Okay, I believe him. I believe him to an extent. I believe him to the extent of the shooting guard isn't for sure right now. Maybe. I have a hard time. Sohan is going to start. Wemby is going to start. There's no way you don't start those two. That will be foolish. Chris Paul is going to start. That's one of his main reasons for coming to San Antonio. Harrison Barnes is the one player that I don't know. The more these preseason games go, the least confident I am. because and it has nothing to do with him playing poorly. It's just that you can kind of plug him into so many different places. But if I had to put money on it, I'm going with Harrison Barnes starts, and then at shooting guard you start with Steph Castle. It would be cool though if you put not Steph Castle. I'm sorry, Julian Champagny. It would be cool though if you put Steph Castle at the 3, because he can play 1 through 3 basically. You know, that's the type of player he is. And then you also start Julian, and now you have 2 playmakers on the court at a time, right? Him and Chris Paul. The ball is going to move pretty nicely. But I mean, we had Wemby bringing the ball down the court and doing a lot of stuff too. So we just gotta wait and see. We gotta wait and see. I think it's all gonna come together though, and I also think it's gonna come together before the season starts. So we have, I think, one more game, right? And I'm hoping everyone plays. Let's see, is it on Thursday? It's on Thursday. So we got our last preseason game this upcoming Thursday against the Houston Rockets. And I think that we're all going to be out there, right? Getting ready. I think you got to go full force. Go with the lineups that you think that you might want to run starting off against Mavericks. And I think Spurs going to be ready. I'll tell you, man, these last few games, I've been highly impressed. They've done a good job. They've been, most importantly with all of these, they've been finishing. That's all you can ask for. Finish strong. Yeah, I don't want to lose to the Rockets. It's preseason, but no, I think we go full force. And don't worry about it too much, because we play them like literally right after the next one. My girlfriend's not gonna be happy. Ooh, she's not gonna be happy. She's cool. She's really chill. She's dope. I have a dope girlfriend. She won't care. I was gonna say, because I'm going live. I'm definitely going live with you guys right after this. I'm going to try my best to, some people said like, hey, we want to see her. I'll try. She's shy. She's not going to want to do it. I'll try to bring her in. I'll try to be like, hey, say hey. She's probably not going to do it. Oh man. Ooh. Gonna be nice, man. Oh, of course. Yeah, I'd rather lose in preseason than the regular season, too. Yeah. That's a cool GF. She's dope, man. Speaking of girlfriend, she bought me Sparking Zero, and I want to get off of here so I can play it before I go to sleep. So, yeah. So, guys, I appreciate all the love. And you know what? I'll be real with you. I'm actually really excited for this season. I feel like Popovich is locked in. I feel like our boy Jeremy Sohan has been locked in. I mean, now that he's back in his natural position, we're starting to see the best of Sohan form, right? He's going into his, well, he's not into his final form, but he's going into his second form, and he's doing a good job. The Spurs as a whole are doing a good job. And I expect a lot of double-doubles, by the way. A lot of double-doubles. Go get out of here, King. All right. Good stuff. Good segment. All right, guys. I will get with you later. I know the stream act like a fool, but it looks like it fixed up a little bit. I'm going to call my internet service tomorrow, and I'm going to say, hey, what's up with my upload speeds? Like, how do I improve my upload speeds? And also, it looks like my internet isn't connected to my phone, and they should be like in one package, so I might be able to get it a little cheaper. I don't quite understand why it's not together, because it's not on the website. So I need to call them anyways. See you after Houston game, Clan. Go enjoy the game. Yeah. Wait, actually, hold on. I'll show you a clip. You want to see a clip of something I did to someone? This poor man had a family. Hold on. Wait a minute. Can you do it from here? Bro, what? What? What the heck is all this? All right, give me a second. Yeah, look at this nastiness. Check out this nastiness. So sick. So I messed that up. So I've just now found out. I didn't understand this. So you got to wait till this part gets close to the circle. I messed that up. Goodbye. How about a spirit bomb? So very filthy. So very filthy. I'm going to... We got to fix this internet stuff first. But I definitely want to start streaming it a little bit because I have too much fun. We'll be on here for hours. All right, bye. Bye. Everyone have a good night. I'll talk to you later.